You've heard me speak about bingeable branding, storytelling marketing, and if you're curious about what it's truly like to work with myself, whether that's in a private capacity or throughout my signature group program, Bingeable Branding Mastermind, this is your personal invitation to explore which level of support is perfectly suited for where you are at and where you are going. If any of my episodes have landed for you deeply, just know this is exactly the work we do at a much deeper scale across my coaching and programs. If you're looking for a sign to start, let this be it for you. It's time to start somewhere together. Welcome to Start Somewhere, the bingeable podcast for the ambitious, self-development obsessed who know they are meant for more. More money, more freedom, more fun. Each week, I expose the sexy truths about manifestation, feminine mindset, and rituals to keep your body and lifestyle thriving. I'll show you how to move through change like it's your runway moment. Welcome to our grounded space to becoming self-obsessed and seducing your own life, where we start with the first step, not the entire staircase. Let's start somewhere together. If you're not getting the results that you truly desire in your life and business, you should definitely follow through on this one thing. So dark feminine energy has truly changed the way I showed up, not only in my day-to-day life, in my business. And it's not necessarily about how you look and the aesthetics. It's so much so on how you're moving throughout your day. It's the energy you're choosing to step into. So if you're unfamiliar with this whole concept of dark feminine energy, essentially we have light and dark. And there's no you fit into one box and that's it. We essentially are able to flow between the two. Now, I feel like I do light feminine energy exceptionally well. It was a lot of my default for years and years. Very much I even want to say in like the wounded part as well. So essentially we have the integrated self, then the wounded self. And so by doing all this work and growing and developing and expanding, we're then able to become the integrated self of feminine. And then now that we have that, we can now flow between the light and the dark. And so essentially stepping more into dark femme was a really big, I want to say, goal of mine for quite some time. So I was doing my master's in NLP in November of last year. We had a board, a timber piece of board. And what we did with this board was write everything we wanted our life to call in on one side. And on the flip side was everything we wanted to delete essentially from our life. And the thing that was the biggest and most apparent on my side of the board that I was calling in was dark feminine. And this was a really fun, 2-3-ish months for me, where I really got to play more and learn more about dark feminine energy. And it's been many months now since I've been really playing with it and leaning more into it and harnessing it in life, in relationships, in business, in clients, in self, in play, in every area of my life essentially. But I've realized one really strong thing. Dark feminine energy changed my world. And I want everybody to experience these incredible benefits of it. So when it comes to feminine energy, right, whether it gets a bad rap or not in your world, people essentially think it's like these flowy dresses, it's light, it's prancing around, it's baking, it's all those like light fluffy things for the light feminine energy. And when we're thinking about dark feminine energy, you might think more like a red lip, a mini skirt, thigh-high boots, that real seductive, flirty kind of energy. Marilyn Monroe is actually a really great example as an embodiment of somebody that can flow between the two. And so I was like, how can you start to channel both? How can you pull from both sides and use that to your advantage essentially? And so the integrated dark feminine is that seduction, it's that flirty energy. However, it's not from an unintegrated place, which is, think of somebody that manipulates people or uses like sex for power. That's that unintegrated space. Instead, we're speaking more on the integrated space. Okay, I hope we're following here. Where essentially we're using our magnetic energy. That's so much of what it is actually. It's been extremely magnetic, which you can then use in your life and business. Like I want you to ask yourself, how would your life and business completely implode in the best way possible if your magnetism was increased by 10? What would that actually look like for your life and your business? Like how would your clients feel? How many clients would you attract? How would your podcast listenership grow? How would your bookings increase drastically? How will your followers connect so much more to your content? Now let's map this across in everyday life. If you're single, how would that look if you're dating? If you're in a relationship, how would that spice up your relationship? Same with like friendships. How would that look? How would you attract these really beautiful connections in your life purely as a result of your energy? And so I want you to do this exercise next time you enter any room, any space where you really want to play more with this dark feminine energy. I want you to walk in the room and visualize yourself picking up each corner in the room. So let's just say there's 4 for matter of fact. I want you to visualize yourself picking up each 4 corners of the room and picking it up together and putting it in your pocket. And what we're doing here is energetically pulling the space and using it and bringing it with us. And you can make this visualization look however you want to. Some people visualize it as a net. Some people visualize it as it's something they can hold in their hand or they could put in their pocket. And this is all just like a figment of your imagination. Like we are metaphorically picking up the energy from the room and we're containing it together. The opposed to it being dispersed and scattered all around the place, we're containing it. And this is the most powerful part of feminine energy, is that I say this a lot with my clients if we are working on this. Even like right now, I want you to visualize, I want you to imagine the energy in your stomach, in the lower part of your belly, just below your belly button. Like I want you to bring all that energy, all that focus and attention there right now. This is your feminine space. And when we can create from this space, this is really playing with our dark feminine energy. So I want you just to like dabble in these little practices and rituals I've just shared already. How can you start to be more intentional? It's all about being in your body, in no matter what room, what space you're entering. It's also things in how you're speaking, how you're holding your words. And the most powerful one is having a pause in what you're saying. When you are speaking and you create the space, it allows people to lean in more, for them to hang onto every last word. It allows what you're saying to land. And this also works with your tone of voice. You know, there's people that have those really high-pitched voices. It honestly does my head, and I cannot listen to somebody like that. And it's so like, oh my gosh, I'm up here, like blah, blah, blah. And like every word ends in like a question tonality. This used to be me as well to a T, so I'm allowed to talk into this. And it's that very like unconvincing tone. It's so high pitch. It's so questionable. And like subconsciously and also energetically, the way that's received from the person on the other end, it's not grounding. It's not stable. It's not secure. It's not convincing. There's no conviction. And dark feminine energy is all of those things. It's deep-rooted confidence in self. It's not looking for validation. It's not looking for an external praise. It's knowing that they put on a beautiful outfit, they do their hair and their makeup, and they know they look 10 out of 10. They don't need people down the road, outside, their friends, their partner, to give them that validation because it's felt internally. And so the words you speak to yourself matter the most. They are quite literal spells. And this is such a hack that I feel is so overlooked in life. Guys, this is how I live my whole entire life. I cast spells every single day. And what I mean by this, my wand doesn't come out to play. There's no wand here. It's the wording you're using every single day, day in, day out, that dictates your reality. So if you are in a shitty situation and that's all you're focusing on, that's all that is actually going to magnetize and expand. Opposed to being somebody that maybe they're in a situation, their current reality isn't exactly reflecting or representing how they truly want it to be. If you can foster up this courage, this resilience, this energy, to instead direct your wording to a more positive outcome, to a situation that is so much more aligned to what you want. And this was very much my reality. And this was very much my experience not even that long ago, where I was in this like weird space for a few weeks, mindset wise. And, you know, of course, like we're all human here. We can talk about these concepts and we go through our own experiences time and time again. And I was in this very interesting reality for a few weeks there. And I knew it was my mindset and I knew I had to shift some things. And so I was spending so long focusing on what I had, which is not what I wanted. I spent so long focusing on the reality I did not want. And by focusing on everything we don't want, it's going to happen because that's where our focus is on. And so it can almost feel a little bit like reckless or a little bit delulu, right? However, that's where all this like confidence and courage is so required to push through and like use that energy to get you out of that pit. Like I want you to imagine there's like, you're in this pit down here and you need a real big boost to come out of that and to come back up onto like this playing ground. Okay. And so it's going to feel a little bit delusional. It's going to feel a little bit ridiculous. It's going to feel very stretchy to get yourself up out of that. And that's why I'm all in like setting these goals that just feel so stretchy and almost like so out of reach, yet also still have an element of being quite realistic, because the confidence you're going to gain from achieving those goals is what is going to drive you so much further. The thing is, faith isn't passive. It's a decision to move before you're ready. And trusting yourself, strengthening your self-trust muscle is the best muscle you are ever going to grow in your entire life. Because you know, no matter what's going on in your reality, if you've got you, anything is possible. And you are going to become dangerously magnetic, dangerously magnetic, dangerously driven, because there is not a single thing in this whole entire world that is going to get between you and where you want to go in this life. And so when you can start to get really clear and start to reorder certain things in your world, I want you to get super clear. What are your boundaries? What are your standards? What are you allowing in your world? Who is getting your time? Who are you talking on the phone with? Who are you messaging? Who are you seeing in real life? These people are ultimately what is going to shape your next level self. Like these people are ultimately always going to be shaping and creating your reality also. And remember this, dark feminine is all about presence, okay? Like it's all well and good to dress in a certain way, have a red lip, have a slick pony, wear like a mini skirt or something like that. Insert whatever you think dark feminine means to you. It's more so your presence and your energy. It's how you can contain your vessel. It's how much you can it's how you know when to pull back from certain situations or people, while simultaneously also using energy to call them in. Like it's a real art, it's a real dance you get to play with a lot. And I love speaking on these concepts so much. I feel like this is almost like a bit of an advanced masterclass on dark feminine energy, because it's something that I have known about for quite some time. And when I was really playing with it, it took me, I want to say like quite a while to really step into it. And I realized it actually wasn't about like being or doing. It was how I was embodying it that made the biggest difference in my world. It was how I was showing up in certain situations and scenarios outside of my life and business. It's how I was speaking to the cashier. It's how I was accepting a date from somebody. It's how I was speaking to a new friendship I've just made or talking to a new potential client. It came from those experiences opposed to like aesthetically looking a certain way. And so this supports perfectly this quote here I want to read, which is, you don't become magnetic by doing more. You become magnetic by holding more. So dark feminine energy is self-trust in motion. Oh, I wish I knew this months ago. You don't chase your next level, you decide it. Your presence will always speak before your strategy does. So just know people can feel you long before you open your mouth to speak or post something online. It's who you're being first that matters the most. If you received value from this episode, it's time to apply what you've heard. And if you're ready to take this further and work together at a deeper level, all the links to join my signature programs are in the show notes. Explore my website to learn more. Otherwise, I'd love to see you listening. So take a screenshot and share this episode to your Instagram stories and tag me at isabel.startsomewhere and at startsomewhere.podcast. Let's start somewhere together.